shortly. Lab After Dark is starting soon. Lab After Dark is starting soon.
Right.
Well, you opened that Pandora's door.
I was actually just sitting down to pee, but whatever, you know.
Yeah. Hit that like button on the way in, please. It's good to see you guys. Welcome to Lab After Dark.
Lab After Dark starts now.
Even though it's very late. But, you know, it could be up all night. You know, I thought about at one point changing the name of this show to something other than Lab After Dark, like, you know, maybe like Up All Night with Josh Diaz, or Josh Can't Sleep, or, you know, just, and, you know, I don't know. I don't know why I don't know. I just never did. I don't know why I never changed the name. Probably because I think that I don't know, I'm constantly trying to, you know, disband the show. I'm constantly like, you know, like, do we really need this? But that's, you know, that's where I was, sometimes I go, but let me see what's going on. Let me say hi to everybody that's here. Hopefully you guys can hear me just fine. Jerry's in the house. Retha. Jenny Machete, the picture is haunting. No, I know. No, I'm not going to change the name. But I should. I wasn't gonna come. I wasn't gonna do a show tonight, but I slept a little earlier, and so I had a headache for a lot of the day, and it was screwing my world up. I mean, the headaches are so inconvenient. Yeah, they're just so inconvenient. And then it's like when you tell people you have a headache, half the time they're like, ugh, you know. But to like, I don't know, tell people like, oh yeah, I have a headache. It's almost like they don't hear you. Like they're like, okay, but no, it's not. It's nothing to do. It was just sometimes I do get headaches, but it's not like super often, but it does happen. And it's not so much from the no, I feel better now. I'm fine. But I get the I guess they're called ocular headaches. All right, Retha. But I like calling you Retha because it's funny to me. I'm not sure why. I think it's called an ocular headache, where it's like your eye, I think. So I get those. Jovi. Good to see you, Jovi, and thank you. I always see your comments. And no, I think with the dietary changes, I'm out, like on. I've pretty much rid my body of, you know, the poison or, you know, whatever it is. It's much better, but I still get those stupid headaches sometimes. And typically Tylenol will do the trick, but I don't know. It's like connected to my ear, and it's like in my eye, and I've had them since I was a little kid. You know, but you go, hey, I have a headache, and I'm like, okay, it's just, you know. But you know. Anyway. So there's that. Yeah, you even saying it out loud, like I have a headache. I don't know. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's different for other people, but I don't think anybody ever takes me serious when I say I have a headache. They just go, well, I need you to do this, this, and that. God dang, Macho. Snoring up a storm. I need you to do this, this, and this, and this. All right, well, I have a headache right now, so I'm going to not do anything at the present moment. Okay, but when you don't have a headache anymore, and I'm not going to say who says it. It's not just, it's everybody that does that to me. And for some reason, I just heard a horn honk. I don't like that. I don't like that very much. But anyway, lack of caffeine, not enough water, stress, lack of sleep. Like I said, I don't know. I've gotten headaches my whole, not like nothing crazy, nothing psychotic, just so anyway, so I was doing a little bit of that. What about world news? What about it? I don't even like having an opinion about stuff anymore. I really don't. Like, when was my last eye exam? I don't know. Last time I got a new pair of glasses. News headaches. Like the news gives me headaches. Yeah. Yeah, sort of. Sometimes it does. Lack of caffeine. I haven't had any caffeine. I haven't had any caffeine for over a month or so. And so that's not really a problem. It's just like I said, it just happens. But yeah. I know the new thing is yeah, the new thing I know is the shooting of the young lady in Minnesota, and so that's never that's going to be controversial no matter what. And I know that people are going to feel very strongly one way or the other about it. And, you're not going to get people to meet in the middle, or you're not going to get people that have a stance one way to agree with you if you're the other way. And, it's just one of those insane, terrible things that happens, and it just does happen, unfortunately. It shouldn't, but I get heat sensitivity when that makes sense. I always thought, I'll give you my thoughts a little bit, but please, let's just try to keep it as gentle as possible. I've always thought that a police officer's job, number one, is to de-escalate and preserve life. Preserve life and de-escalate. That's what I typically fall back on. But I don't know. It's obviously gonna get out of hand, and people are going to make it about them, and they're going to trash businesses. Hopefully not, but businesses. It's going to be a mess. I mean, they've already deployed the National Guard because it's going to get unruly, and I think that's kind of what people sort of count on, which sucks. It's just that, I don't know. I would think that standing in front of a car, it's usually not a good idea, but that's just my take, I would never stand in front of a car. Never. Ever. For any reason. Especially one that's moving. Never. Never. This is weird. I just wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe you're different than me. Maybe I'm maybe I'm weird about it. Maybe I'm strange. But I would never stand in front of a car. I remember my uncle got in he got in an argument with his girlfriend many, many moons ago at Thanksgiving. And I mean, I get it doesn't make much sense. But they were arguing, and what happened was she got in her car, and my uncle was trying to stop her. Why? I have no idea. None. And I was even trying. What was he saying? Don't try and don't. Well, what she did? She gunned it forward and ran over his foot. He was like, she tried to run me over, and I was like, well, I get it. You probably shouldn't stand in front of the car. So, I don't know. It's just going to get out of hand, and well, I wouldn't either. But the argument would be, is that a death sentence? Is running from, or is, when you're being, I don't know if she was, I think they were trying to stop her and stuff and things like that. But, you don't just open fire on a car that's driving away from you. But if you feel like you're defending yourself, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets charged. But I wouldn't either. I mean, I would never drive away from the law, nor would I run from them, nor would I get in their way. I wouldn't do that either. But, I mean, those situations are just, they're terrible. They're a terrible situation. A person absolutely lost their life. Let's see. She was asked to exit car. Her wife said, "Drive, baby, drive." Yeah. It's just the whole situation is regrettable. I don't think that, whoever that guy was woke up that morning and went, yeah, I'm going to shoot somebody today. I don't think she deserved to die either, but It's just sad. It's just sad. And I don't even really know the entire story. And I'm not even sure I want to know because, you know, it just sort of, yeah, I think the officer had PTSD, you know. I've seen officers beg and plead and say, no, I don't want to, you know, and you know. I agree. I don't think that you should be interfering with, you know, whatever's going on. But at the same time, you know, is that a death sentence? I don't think so. But who knows what was going through the officer's mind? Who knows what was going through her mind? And very, 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 very tragic. Very upsetting to see something like that. You know, all the angles and you know, everybody's got everything's captured on camera now, and it's like, do we need that? Man, you know, I saw some of those photos. It was terrible. I want to see that shit when I open up like X. X is like the worst. I don't want to see any of that. Never. So you just can't help it, I guess, you know, if you're people posting that shit online, you know. I mean, the video thing, I understand. I understand why you would want to see the video footage of what happened, but like the car after it was like, you know, it's just upsetting. You know. Well, there's a lot of people that don't. You know. There's a lot of people that don't, but, you know, it's not like this administration is the one that started ICE. ICE has been around since like 2002, 2003. But I just think that there's more of an emphasis on the way that stuff's being handled, you know. So that's really sort of my take on it. My big take away from it is that it's very, very sad. I would get out of the car too. I'm with you. I would never, ever in a million years put myself in that situation. I don't know if there was a dog or not. I would never put myself in that situation. I just would not do that. And especially, you know, the guy that, or the officer that got, cause didn't he get ran over once before? There was a dog in the vehicle. Oh my God. Crazy. Absolutely insane. Cat Randall, thank you for gifting a Lab After Dark membership. It's just upsetting to people, you know, and I understand that. And I sympathize with that because I understand that it is upsetting, and such a political, you know, I don't know if people understand this. Maybe some do, but you know, during the Obama administration, I believe that he deported more people, illegals, than like the two previous administrations combined. Matter of fact, they used to go around telling him or calling him behind his back the deporter in chief. The problem or the difference is there wasn't as much of an emphasis and microscope and divide about it. And it wasn't like the focal point, you know, of what's going on. So he may have done that, but he still deported an insane amount of illegals, an insane amount. And but like I said, there wasn't like there wasn't all this rhetoric, there wasn't this hyper focus on the media, you know. So I get it. I get it. It's about the rhetoric. It's about the, you know, it's about compassion. It's about, look, I mean, you know, whether you like them or not, that what they're doing is allowed under the law. So yeah, I agree. It's just that, but the whole thing, like, you know, when social media blew up with it was just upsetting to see. It was just upsetting to see on, you know, just like the Charlie Kirk thing. It's upsetting that you witness these things in real time, and unfiltered, unedited, and you have a visceral reaction to it one way or the other. You know, you certainly do. You have a reaction to it, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I mean, we're all humans, you know, and it sucks. It really does. You did? You came here for some laughs? Yeah, well, we've just begun. We've only started. But, you know, this is what's happening. This is what happened, you know. So sometimes I unfortunately have to talk about that. I'm not always funny. Not always. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm not either. But I won't make one person laugh until we hit 50 likes. We're going to talk about the most morbid shit that you could think of. I'm just kidding. Did I see the little deer charging the rhino? No, I didn't actually. I remember one time there was this place in Oregon. It was called, like, the place was called Noah's Ark or something like that. And there was a deer. I remember there was a deer there, and he was I think it was a little guy. He was a really, really little guy. You just hit 50. Okay. Well, I'll try and make you laugh, but no promises. And I was little, and I was trying to feed it some, I don't know, grain or some shit, whatever somebody gave me. And they put me right up next to the fence, and that son of a bitch grabbed my shirt. Grabbed my shirt and he chewed it for like 30 minutes. And he chewed holes all in my red shirt. It's like my Ernie Irvan shirt. And it was terrifying. I was frozen with fear. People just watched. The damn thing could have ate me. It didn't, but you know, it's very docile and he was like, he was chomping at me. It was like, what the hell are you doing? He loved me though. He certainly loves me. Is shirt code word for something else? No, absolutely not. My first ever trip to the zoo, rhinos were breeding. Jesus. Yowza. That must have sucked. Rhinos. And I've never seen a rhinos breed. I would assume they do it just normal, like animals do. I don't even want to think about it, to be honest with you. It's disgusting. Cat would film it. Cat would film it and probably post it in a Discord somewhere and say, hey, everybody, look what the rhinos are doing. They're being nice to each other. Look at the rhinos. They're just mating. It's like, oh, my Lord. Yeah. Step right up and see the rhinos hump each other. I couldn't handle that. I couldn't handle it. I certainly couldn't handle it. Takes me instantly. Takes me instantly to Pet Detective and Jim Carrey coming out of the rhino's ass. Yeah, I remember. I churched it up for you a little bit, but that was pretty hilarious. Massive grave robber caught in Pennsylvania. Oh my God! Maybe we'll check that out. Check that out. Why not? Why not? We'll check that out. Speaking of Jim Carrey, I saw. Did anybody ever used to watch In Living Color? Oh my God. It was fun. In Living Color. So I was probably 18 at the time. And 18 or 19. And there was this place, it was the town over. And they had this square with like 4 bars. And people would just sort of, if you weren't old enough, obviously you couldn't get into the bars, but you could hang out on the square. And that's where, most people did. They would hang out and talk. And, I was hanging out with people that were older than me at the time. They were, 22, 23, some of them. But anyway, I remember I met a girl. Her name was, I believe it was Lynetta was her name. But we exchanged phone numbers and we were like, yeah, let's, we'll hang out or whatever kids do, teenagers do. So we exchanged phone numbers. I had that Motorola flip phone, and God, dude, this was like wild. So the next a couple days later, we were texting and she was like, you should come over and hang out. And I said, okay, all right. Well, and it was like 9:00 at night or something like that. It was pretty late. So she's like, yeah, come over and we can like watch some TV or something. So she gave me the address. I went over and it was like an apartment complex. So, you know, you go inside, you get buzzed in. I go to the whatever door, whatever numbered door it was. And I knocked, you know, I knocked on the door and she answers it. And I remember, you know, she was a black lady. And I saw the downstairs. The downstairs was nothing. It was turned into a salon. Okay. Like I could tell it was like a makeshift salon downstairs. There was like mannequins with wigs and a couple of chairs. And I was like, this was like a townhouse, you know? And I was like, what the hell is this? What is going on here? She's like, yeah, come on here, come upstairs. And so I was like walking upstairs and I'm already like, have no idea what's going on anymore. Discombobulated. And she takes me into this room where there's 6 other women. There was like 4 of them were on the bed. 2 of them were like on a couch, like a little couch. And they were watching In Living Color. And I sat on the edge of that bed and watched In Living Color for 2 hours, staring straight forward. I had never been so uncomfortable in my life. Never. I was very uncomfortable sitting on the edge of that bed because that was the only place to sit. It was a weird, it's a weird experience, but In Living Color was fun. And I actually did end up having kind of fun, but I had to sit on the edge of somebody's bed. I was the only basically, I mean, to them, I was a white guy. It was just very odd, you know. Fun, but odd. There were like 6 people in that room. 7 with me. It's crazy. But yeah, Fire Marshal Bill, the ones with Jim Carrey were playing, they were awfully funny, but I feel like I got bamboozled. Or tricked, or I don't know what it was. It was weird, but you're white to me too, even with that Dia's name. Well, I guess I am. Bamboozled sounds hot. It's not. I'm not bamboozled, but look, I wouldn't have went over there if I knew that I was going to end up sitting on the edge of somebody's bed watching In Living Color with 5 strangers and a girl that I really didn't even know that much. So, I don't know. I guess I am white. I don't know. I don't know what I am. I'm just me. Was the bed king or twin? I don't know. It was pretty good size. I mean, I don't know. No, there was no second date. I don't think. I can't remember. I doubt it. It was like 18. I was very young. Well, I'm trans Randall, so beat that. That's true. You were transitioning from a dog to a cat. I remember you saying that. I just felt, I don't know. It was weird. It was, it wasn't, it was, I don't know. It was a culture shock for me, I think. Especially I wouldn't be so uncomfortable now, but I was pretty young and never in my life had envisioned being there like that, I guess you could say. And I don't like, does that make sense? I did feel a little uncomfortable. I felt like I was intruding, but everybody was really nice to me. And I got an orange grape soda, no, orange grape soda, just a grape soda. I was offered an orange or a grape soda and I chose grape. It was really, really good. It was really good. But like I said, I wouldn't be as uncomfortable now. I'd probably leave if I wanted to. I wanted to just get up and walk out for a while, and I didn't, and I probably should have. And I was 18. I was 18. I think, yeah, I had to be 18. It was weird. No, Mr. Pibb. No, Mr. Pibb. None. They were very nice. Remember Jim Carrey in Liar Liar? Funniest line was, "You liar, you stuffed her like a Thanksgiving turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble." Well, they didn't, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. They didn't seem uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable. I was probably the youngest person there too. I think it was a Shasta. It was a Shasta grape soda. And thinking back, I should have went with the orange because I remember it tasted like Dimetapp. I don't know if you know what Dimetapp was, but it was the shit that my grandmother would make me take if I insisted on being sick and not going to school, no matter what it was. I could have a cramp in my leg. I can't walk very well. My leg hurts. All right, here's some Dimetapp. That's what she always did. Always. It was like, I didn't want, like, it was, I would say, I don't want any of this friggin' Dimetapp. It's so disgusting. And it was disgusting. And it never did shit. I had an orange Faygo today. That sounds kind of nice. It did nothing. All it did was it would force me to go, yeah, I'm not sick enough to stay home from school. Like, she knew what she was doing. It was very rude of her. Dimetapp, you're going to have to take Dimetapp. I was like, no, dude. Do people even use Dimetapp anymore? The nastiest shit in the world. Seriously. And it's Dimetapp. Is it Dimetapp or Dimetapp? I don't even know. And do they still have it? I have some on top of my fridge right now. I bet that it tastes better than, good Lord in heaven, hallowed be. It's disgusting. It's so sick. I hated that shit so much, man. Josh, you have to take some Dimetapp. Take some Dimetapp. No, I didn't. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Your grandmother used to give you, I would rather have taken a shot of whiskey. So how do you pronounce it? Is it Dimetapp or Dimetapp? Because there's two E's, I believe. There's two E's, which would lead me to believe Is there two E's? I don't know, dude. All I know is that orange or that grape soda tasted like Dime Tap or Dimetap or Dime Tap or whatever it is. And I'm not really sure what it is, but it's disgusting. On a lighter note, even though I didn't feel that well today, I walked 4 miles. 4.5. 4.5 miles. Well, I walked 3 miles and I ran a mile. So that was nice. It was good. 10,000 steps, baby. Got them in. Every last friggin' one of them, too. 10,000. You'd be surprised at how long that would take you. It does. It was a daunting task, I tell you. Some days are harder than others. Plus, I had a headache, but I was just like, I got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it, whether we like it or not, which we don't, but Diamond Tap used to have alcohol. See, I would have liked it much better if it would have had some alcohol in it. It didn't, though. Oh, God. I can taste the friggin' Diamond Tap right now. And I don't want to. I'll show you something. What the hell is that? Bobsled? And just because her name was Lynetta didn't mean she was automatically black, sweet soul. But yeah, it was very awkward. I will never show it. No, I'm not using a treadmill. I'm freestyling it. I'm urban walking. Neighborhood walking. So but no. Pat did stop me today and he told me that he goes, make sure to be putting lemon in your water. It's good for kidney stones. I was like, thanks, Pat. It's good for kidney stones. God, that sounds nice. That sounds nice. I would love that, to be honest. Is that right, though? I mean, is that... Dime Tap's chewable? Dude.
Step right into the...
Oh, man.
I mean, I got the registration here. Do you have an ID on you at all? My school ID. Well, I need you to step out of the car for me.
What do you think? What do you think? He's got drugs? What do you think he has? What do you think this guy has in his car? Is it going to be pot? He looks like he smokes pot a little bit.
Put your hands up there.
Maybe a gun.
Do you have anything on you I need to know about? Nothing.
I've never seen this, so I'm guessing.
No weapons, any drugs, or anything like that? Okay, go ahead and step right into the back here of the car for me.
It's got to be pot.
Is there a problem, sir? Well, you have no driver's license, of course. You can't be driving on city streets. You have no...
I'm trying to make the buck, man, fixing steering, sir.
I understand. Well, I've got to write you a few tickets. Okay, so I need you to sit on the curb for me.
Yeah, Robitussin too.
Can I turn the engine off? Because it's going to kill the battery.
Yeah, I'll turn it off.
Okay.
I'll get it. Hey, Natalie. I pulled over Marlon here. He was driving his friend's car. His friend And the registration has no driver's license. He has no driver's license either, and they have no insurance.
Of course.
Just want to keep an eye on him. That's better. Write up his tickets.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. We're running Marlon's information
I remember Bubblegum and Matsuso.
one more time. He gave me a middle initial he thought that they put in last time he had a ticket. I'm not finding his name. No, he's running.
Oh no.
Oh, look, please. Okay, I give up.
Are you done? Are you done? Get on the ground. Get on your
I'm done.
What do you have in the car?
Okay, I'm done.
Maybe he had somebody
Okay,
to
I'm
shoot.
done. Oh, you're hurting me. I'm done,
Just
okay.
relax.
Any officers being in contact with an ambulance is advised.
Done. Oh, you're hurting me. I'm done.
You're hurting me.
I'm done, okay, please.
You went to Rand. I went to head to tackle you.
I know, but because I got scared, I want to go to jail, man.
Well, now you are going to go to jail. I've got him in your chair. Roll over. Sit up.
Sit up with my
No.
No, it's not T-Rev, but I'll tell you that T-Rev went on a whole 4-day rant of doing shows, and then he deleted all of them.
Oh, I think it might be wrong.
Just stay there. You keep reaching for.
I'm trying to pull my pencil right there.
Got to be a gun.
All right.
Quite a bit of stuff you got here. Shit, bud.
Engine room.
Really? Quit wrestling. You think you're going to run away?
Well, if I try, maybe I can get away. I'll try, man. You know?
Man.
Get in the car.
You are now.
Get in. While you're in the car running his information, I asked him to just kick off his shoes because he's just kind of acting a little bit hanky, and turns out he had 4 bags of weed in his shoe.
Edar, why did you decide to run?
Because he was going to get in trouble for having drugs. I always wonder why they ask that question. Why did you decide to run? Well, probably because I had drugs on me and I didn't want to go to jail. Let's see what he says.
Because I was scared. I thought I didn't want to go to jail.
All right. So he said he was scared, but hey, why did you run? I mean, what kind of a question is that?
And after you were in cuffs, where were you going to go when you started running away?
Another fair question, but
As far as I could. My last minute of freedom. As far as I could.
Take him off to jail. Yeah?
Yeah, you are. Oh, you hit my head! Oh!
We're about to arrive on an apartment complex where a
I think
male and his
it was gonna be a
girlfriend
felony anyway.
possibly got into a domestic
Because of the crack in his shoe or whatever it was.
violence situation and resulting in some type of battery.
Deets, admitting that in the chat, hopefully nobody sees it because people are just going to go, oh, she's breaking the law. But, yeah, I mean.
What's up, boss?
How you doing? Come on outside.
He's in the bed. You gonna get out of bed?
No, he's not going to get out of bed.
Get up.
DMV sucks. It's like one of the worst places.
Come on outside.
What's going on, man?
Don't know.
What's your name?
Zion.
What, Sean?
What's he eating?
No.
They had a fight.
Quit eating and talk to me. I can't hear you when you're
Hey,
chewing.
I'm watching TV, dude.
Yeah, dude, he's watching TV. He's got shit to do.
Okay, you can go back to watching
I'll
TV
go
and
back
tell
and
me
watch
what's going on.
TV, dude.
What's going on?
Where's Ken Hart? Nothing.
What's on?
You guys fighting?
Yeah. She done ran off, cut it off. That's fine.
Who, your girl?
Yeah.
What were you guys fighting about?
Don't know.
Oh, probably because he's a drunk bastard.
You hear
None of
it?
your business.
Well, it is my business.
Well, it ain't because
It is.
there ain't no hands been putting on. I want just a little loudness. I'll go back to watch TV. That's it.
Sounds like a great night, dude.
Okay, so you didn't beat on her?
Maurice, what can we do to resolve the problem
Oh my God, he put it in the grass.
tonight?
Just go away.
Go away? Is that what you'd like us to do?
Yeah, I would like you to go away.
Watch TV and I'll do my own thing.
How long have you guys been together?
About 5 months.
Okay. And has this happened before? Okay. Have the police ever been involved other than tonight? Anybody go to jail?
No.
So he's never hit on you? No, just verbal?
Yeah, it's been verbal.
So I mean, he's pretty angry.
Did you see him put it in the grass though? Watch this, watch.
I'll go back to watch TV. That's it.
Okay, so you didn't beat on her?
Maurice, what can we do to resolve the problem tonight?
Just go away.
Go away? Is that what you'd like us to do?
I'll watch TV and I'll do my own thing.
How long have you guys been together?
About 5 months.
Okay. And has this happened before? Okay. Have the police ever been involved other than tonight? Anybody go to jail?
No.
So he's never hit on you? No, just verbal?
Yeah, it's been verbal.
So I mean, he's pretty angry.
I mean, he put it in the grass, and I guarantee he ate it.
He gets angry. I don't understand why.
Brandon,
She's
it's
gonna
over.
stay.
Come in now.
She's gonna stay with Dad, and he's hitting the road.
Oh, you're leaving.
You're getting trespassed. You can't come back here ever again. If you do, you'll go to jail.
Okay, let me get my coat.
Well, hold on.
Yes.
Dude, look at those tattoos. Look at that tattoo. Look at this thing. God. They're not going to let you renew it online if it's 21 months lapsed.
It's not your dad.
No,
Security doesn't want you here. You guys want to read?
it was over.
trespass?
Now they just made it worse.
Where are you going?
Well, they just made it worse.
Mayor, we're not done with you.
He is very classy.
You don't want to go to jail, right?
Well, it's a place to sleep tonight, ain't it?
Not a good place.
What?
Okay, so he has nowhere to go. So he wants to go to jail. He wants to go to jail.
Everything was cool up until now.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. I was watching TV. Everything was cool.
No, it's not cool until we
Everything
make
was
it.
cool.
Now that you're leaving, everything will continue to be cool.
You think I'll be through?
Where are you going? We're not done with you.
Think I'll be through? Every time.
Put on your shoes. Put on your shoes.
Every time.
Idiot.
I was cool. Yeah. That's right. I'm getting them back. Come on.
Okay, I'm giving you one chance.
He wants to go to jail. Just arrest him. Don't give him a chance. Just matter of fact, take a billy club out and whack him on the back of the thigh.
You put on your shoes.
I done 24 hours in that.
Be quiet.
Oh, he's got the pepper spray. He just shook the pepper spray. Did you see the pepper spray? Look, he shook it.
I done 24 hours in that.
Shook it.
Be quiet.
He shook it.
You can walk away, you can go to jail. Be quiet. You can walk away, you can go to jail.
What are those? Are those K-Swiss? Those shoes are K-Swiss, huh?
What do you want?
Pepper spray. Please.
It's up to you.
Please.
Stupid.
We Would you read trespass so we can get him out of here?
Stupid, man.
Want to take this with you, Kevin?
Hey, Maurice, come here.
Really pissed off about the TV.
Come here. Come here. Come here. We're gonna help you out.
Take me to jail?
Yep, turn around.
You gonna take me to jail?
Yep, put your hands behind your back. Drop your shirt. Drop your shirt. Put your hands behind your back.
Now, what do you take me to jail for?
Disorderly conduct.
Disorderly conduct.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a big ass felony.
Yep. It's a misdemeanor.
It's not a felony.
Felony, bro.
You don't know when to shut your mouth.
I was leaving.
Well, you should have done it sooner.
Can you have
Yeah, you love to make things worse, huh? Yeah, I should have done it sooner. You're a...
Yeah?
Yeah, you are. Oh, you hit my head! Oh! What did you have for? Oh! Oh! What the?
Our only option is to transport him to CCDC and book him. That should at least give a few hours of cool down time for him. And if he comes back on property, he'll be arrested for trespassing.
Got a foot pursuit. Apparently, the guy threw a baggie of narcotics, and he's got his car, and the guy's in the area hiding somewhere. So we're going to see if we can help find him.
I bet you he was watching like gun stuff or something.
Joe, he's either in B or C. Okay. He came out of here. I was just kind of just go wah, 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 like that, shine light on him. Next thing you know, he's no, back. But he went right here. Yeah. Okay. He's through here. Okay. You can tell me what he looks like, right? Yeah. What's up, buddy? Tennessee.
What's up, man?
Is this place vacant next door?
Yeah.
Is there some dude coming in your back door?
No.
I can hear somebody upstairs.
In my house.
Who's upstairs? We can come in, right, bro? All right, come on. Who's up there, bro? Listen, hey, sit right there, Tennessee. Okay, somebody upstairs? Okay, let's go. Get a 33. 33, please. Okay, Joe, you're lethal. I'm going to tase if we have to. We're not the police. If you're upstairs and you show yourself, we will find you. We're not going to play games. I heard you up here.
Did anybody ever see the one where the guy was hiding under the mattress? Between the box spring and the mattress? It's hilarious. I loved it.
You in there? Come on. You in there? Come on.
Yeah.
I'll get it. You think I'm kidding? Come on, I'm gonna tase you right now.
Yeah, he thinks you're
Come out right now. Come out right now. You think we're stupid? Get your hands out or I'm gonna tase you.
Hands. All right, you don't.
Put them out now.
Wait, my arm is dislocated, officer. All right, my arm is dislocated. The left one, please.
Frank 52, code 4, he is in custody. Why don't you listen? You didn't think we were going to come get you? All right. You good, Joe?
Good.
All right, buddy, there you go.
He's like
Good job.
18.
Just take him down, put him in the car. What you running for, man?
Because I know I'm on probation. I'm in a drug-infested area.
And you threw some. Because my partner got what you threw. He watched you.
I didn't throw anything.
That yours?
No, officer.
That's why I saw it go like this, right? Oh, it's your girlfriend's car.
Yes,
Where's
sir.
your girlfriend at?
She's at home.
That wasn't you getting that driver's seat, right? That wasn't you. That's not your hat in the alleyway, right?
Yeah, that's my hat.
That's your hat?
I'm in a drug-infested area, and I'm on probation.
You're on probation in a drug-infested area, and you're running from the police.
Yes, officer.
That's
I've never
interesting.
seen that.
Let's go put you in my car
That
for a
sounds
few.
great, though.
Oh, you guys want to tow the car?
Cash, SARS, a little bit of math.
Well, how's my cash gone?
Because of that.
That had to do with taking my money out my wallet.
When we're arresting somebody for sales of narcotics and they got money, that's going with it.
$106? I guess I'm gonna have to fight it if you guys about to take me to jail.
Well, we're not about to. We are.
Possibly murdered. Information that was just given by a juvenile saying that somebody was about to possibly get murdered.
Have to check that. Similar infestations.
I got him. I get him, dog. I get him. He's my brother. I get him. I get him. Get on him. I got him. I got him. You got you, man.
That TV screams 1998. Look at this thing.
I got him. I got him. You got you, man.
Vorcent DVD video. Damn, dude, that's luxury right there.
You gotta take it somewhere else.
You're being placed under arrest for burglary. Did you put it on there? Just now, you're being at intent.
And the kid.
Yeah, you did.
We're going home now.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there. This guy comes over and started blasting, but hitting me.
That guy did?
Yeah, that's not. I didn't do anything. I was just sitting there. I didn't talk to him or didn't talk to his girlfriend.
Hang tight. He's got to take off.
You just got punched by a male.
He's right there.
How far down, dude? I'm not 31st.
Where's he at? You know what I'm talking about. Put your hands up there.
You hit me first, for real.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, where'd he go?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
All right, well, we'll take you and tell us where he's at.
I don't know where he's at.
Yeah,
For real. No, I don't.
Oh, yeah, she was.
No, I don't know. I live right here, for real.
You were together with him.
Where do you live at?
He was asking me if he knew me.
Corner. I don't know where he's at, for real. No,
Don't
seriously.
worry. We saw what happened.
No, seriously.
You was with him.
I'm coming home. I am right there.
You want to search her real quick? All right, we're coming now. They got him.
We got to locate on him.
Thank you.
So we're about to get this male.
We got him.
suspect. Yeah, tiene. Gracias. As it started, we were going to a 911 hang-up call, and this gentleman waved us down that he was assaulted. So we have his girlfriend and the male.
We're here where we started at. He backtracked, came back to the bar.
What exactly happened when you?
I walked in and pulled a chair, sat down, and he was with this girl. So I ordered the beer. The beer came. One sip
They're all bad.
I took. As soon as I put the beer down, I felt like the building just collapsed on me. He was standing right.
All of these suck. Not even good. Although this one, that was the best one right there. This guy. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Reiner not guilty of murder? What the hell is this?
Nick Reiner.
Is this Jesse Weber? And why did this guy resign? Does anybody know? Did he give oh yeah, I'll play that. Hold on. The secret sauce. Hold on here. When did you do this one? I don't think I don't think I've seen this one.
Secret sauce is when you're putting out a video to, I mean, what I don't understand is why aren't all of you guys like checking every single day for the live streams and videos and, like everybody out there should know that I put out videos and just look, it's right there. Yeah, well, Miss Elliott, that's exactly what you are. Have you ever looked in the mirror, Miss Elliott? I bet you every time you look in the mirror, you see a-hole right back at your face. As a matter of fact, your face looks like an a-hole. Wow. Unbelievable. Let's see. Hey, thanks, Zachary. Yeah, you missed what they typed in. They said the secret sauce is not being an a-hole, they said. So I'll go ahead and say it right back to their face. I just don't care. I have no patience for these idiots that show up. Let's see. Yeah, Hugh Gray was insulting. Yeah, it wasn't insulting. That was just an absolute reply comeback to their idiotic comment.
Burn, baby.
Yeah, and that's what you get back, And I don't know what the secret sauce is.
I know the whistle.
Is when you're putting out a video to, I mean, what I don't understand is why.
What I don't understand is that, like, this is actually good advice. That was good advice. The secret sauce is not to be an asshole. I think in any situation when somebody tells you that, that's I don't know, that's pretty good advice to me. I think. So that's just an absolute comeback.
All of you guys like checking every single day for the live streams and videos and, like everybody out there should know that I put out videos and just look. It's right there. Yeah, well, Miss Elliott, that's exactly what you are. Have you ever looked in the mirror, Miss Elliott? I bet you every time you look in the mirror, you see a-hole right back at your face. As a matter of fact, your face looks like an a-hole.
I mean, it really didn't. Hold on.
Wow. Unbelievable. Hole, right, Miss Elliott? That's exactly what you are. Have you ever looked in the mirror, Miss Elliott? I bet you every time you look in the mirror, you see a-hole right back at your face. As a matter of fact,
you see a hole right back at your face. You see a hole right back at your face.
Back, your face looks like an a-hole. Wow. Unbelievable. Let's see. Hey, thanks, Zachary. Yeah, you missed what they typed in. They said the secret sauce is not being an a-hole, they said. So I'll go ahead and say it right back to their face. I just don't care. I have no patience for these idiots that show up.
None.
Let's see. Yeah.
I mean, he nuked them. He nuked her bad, man. That was terrible. I want to see what this is.
Is not guilty of murder. Print that. Print that. After withdrawing from representing accused killer Nick Reiner, those were the parting words of his now former attorney, Alan Jackson. But what did he not say? He didn't say.
The first time I saw Gray, Josh was in his chat trolling him about the visor. Is that what you're talking about? I don't think that was me.
Reiner didn't kill his father, Rob Reiner, and mother, Michelle Singer. No, he said he's not guilty. And that is very telling. That is very specific.
That was another Josh.
That seems to be a very big clue as to what potential defense will be raised. Maybe how this case may proceed and whether, in fact, Nick Reiner is not guilty of murdering his parents, especially since it's now being reported he may think he's a victim of a conspiracy.
Oh, no.
Let's talk about it. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Hi, on behalf of Watson Jackson and Quinn, and with Mr. Reiner's understanding.
But why? So why did Alan Jackson quit? I don't understand. Did he give a reason?
Consent would ask to withdraw.
I mean, I guess he already got his name out there, but you know, he's kind of already had his name out there anyway.
As counsel of record, based on the conversation that we've had in chambers and the explanation that we've provided to the court in chambers, we feel that we have no choice at this juncture but to withdraw as counsel and ask to be relieved.
Just a wild legal week in the Nick Reiner story, and I paid very, very careful attention to the words that were used by his now former attorney, Alan Jackson, who withdrew from the case. And I'll play the whole thing for you because it raises a lot of questions about what we can actually expect now for Nick Reiner. I mean, he's being represented by a public defender, not Alan Jackson. What does that mean? But this is the most important part, in my view. This is the most important part. Is it possible that we just got a major clue, a major confirmation as to his defense and whether he will in fact be found not guilty of murder? And we have just learned, by the way, that Reiner may in fact believe that he's the victim of a conspiracy. Yeah, so lot to process here. Now, what are we talking about? 32-year-old Nick Reiner, of course, he has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in connection with the apparent stabbing deaths of his parents, renowned director Rob Reiner and photographer and producer Michelle Singer Reiner. They were found dead in their Brentwood, LA home back on December 14th. It is a brutal crime. And Nick Reiner faces these murder charges with special circumstances. So namely multiple murders, special allegations, right? There's a special allegation too that he allegedly personally used a dangerous and deadly weapon, a knife. And remember, when you're adding this, that could carry the death penalty if convicted, or at least life in prison without parole. So the stakes are incredibly high here. After his initial arraignment was delayed, it was rescheduled for January 7th, this week. But instead of a standard arraignment, right, where a defendant is told what they're charged with, what their constitutional rights are, where they maybe enter a plea, the arraignment had to be delayed again. And this time, his attorney, well, now former attorney, acclaimed criminal defense attorney Alan Jackson, withdrew from representing him. That was a bomb.
So I know that the law is that, you know, you can't inherit money from murdering your parents, and I don't believe you're allowed to use their money or the estate to defend. So
announcement. So Nick Reiner is now assigned a public defender, Kimberly Green, and we're going to talk more about
welcome, Kimberly,
about what this means for him. We'll talk about why he maybe did this, why Alan Jackson did this. But I go back to my central point here. I go back to what Alan Jackson said outside of court after that announcement. And I want you to listen very, very carefully to what he says. Remember, he's a lawyer. So the specific words that he used are deliberate. This, in my view, gives us a sense of what the actual legal defense may be and creates a conversation of whether, in fact, Reiner will be found not guilty of murder. Take a listen.
This morning, I had to withdraw as Nick Reiner's counsel. Circumstances beyond our control, but more importantly, circumstances beyond Nick's control, have dictated that, sadly, it's made it impossible for us to continue our representation of Nick. I'm legally and I'm ethically prohibited from explaining all the reasons why. I know that's a question on everybody's mind. We expect the public defender to step in. They've already been appointed and very capably protect Nick Reiner's interests as he moves forward through the system. But be clear, be very, very clear about this. My team and I remain deeply, deeply committed to Nick Reiner and to his best interests. In fact, we know, we're not just convinced, we know that the legal process will reveal the true facts of the circumstances surrounding this case, Nick's case. You know, a lot's been printed of late, over the last 3 weeks. A lot has been printed about Nick, printed about his family, printed about the circumstances, speculation. is in print. On December 15th, in the early morning hours, I was in New York at the time, and I got a call. Me and my team, we dropped everything. And for the last 3 weeks, we have devoted literally every waking hour to protecting Nick and his interests. We've investigated this
I don't understand that either, to be honest.
matter top to bottom, back to front. What we've learned, and you can take this to the bank, is that pursuant
Well, no, you can't take it to the bank. That's why you quit the case.
to the laws of this state, pursuant to the law in California, Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder. Print that. Print that. We wish him
He's a defense attorney. That's what he does.
very, very best moving forward. And that's all I have today.
Nick Reiner is not guilty. Not that he didn't do it. Not that he didn't kill.
Right, not guilty of murder. I get it. He's gonna say he's insane, or he felt the voices in his head were telling him that he couldn't do it, or that he didn't do it, or to do it.
Rob and Michelle. Not that he's innocent, right? Not that someone else did it. So that leaves some alternative possibilities on defenses and whether Nick Reiner will be found not guilty by a jury. And that is what I want to get into, as well as why Jackson withdrew, what we can expect from the public defender, what we can expect at the next scheduled arraignment for February 23rd. And to get into all of this, I want to bring on Seth Zuckerman, criminal defense attorney. Seth, thank you so much for taking the time. Really, really appreciate it. A lot of layers here. First, okay, let's talk about the withdrawing of representation. When you hear Jackson basically say that he had no choice but to withdraw, what do you think happened?
Well, first, thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here today. I think two things. One, that there's...
He looks like Garfunkel's son or grandson. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down.
An issue with legal fees, and that whoever agreed to pay for Nick Reiner's initial appearance in the aftermath of his parents' death is no longer willing to fund the defense, or that there's some type of conflict that arose for Alan Jackson in which some of the witnesses are either former clients or people that he's unable to cross-examine. You know, one of the things that he said during his statement outside the courthouse, which you are attuned to and hit right on the head, and we'll unpack those other issues in a moment, is that they've done a thorough investigation here. And only after the investigation did these issues arise. So to me, it's either a legal fee issue, and there's no one who's willing to pay for Jackson's hefty legal fees in this case, or that there's an actual conflict of interest and he has an ethical obligation not to proceed because of this conflict. And the crazy thing is we're never going to know the actual reason, right? He's got an ethical obligation to not say anything further. Nick Reiner is now a former client of his. Even what he said on the courthouse steps was probably a lot, but I understand why he did it. And now we're not going to know the reason he withdrew, but we know that he's now got a public defender.
Well, there's a couple of points to that, because in a little bit later, I'm going to talk to you about potential witnesses in this case, because there's something that happened in the courtroom where we may have got an indication of that. And if this case progresses and certain people testify, I'm sure, you know, sleuths out there, maybe even us, we can look to see if these potential witnesses were ever represented in some capacity by Alan Jackson or his firm. So that's a potential conflict of interest. I do want to get into the idea of the fees and whether or not Jackson could be paid. There has been talk about, is it possible that Nick Reiner was uncooperative, that he's a difficult client? I don't get that sense, because why say these were circumstances beyond his control unless you're really saying, look, he's mentally unwell, there's not much we can work with here. But then that would be a competency issue, right? I don't even think that this would be like, this has to be transferred to a different attorney, I can't handle it. So your thoughts on people who say, well, maybe it's Nick Reiner's being uncooperative in some fashion? I don't see that.
I don't see that here either. Jackson's statement was very specific, as you said, right? Is that circumstances outside of Nick Reiner's control led to this. So, you know, there's not a conflict of strategy. There's not an inability to communicate with one another. So I've ruled out the fact that Jackson withdrew because of some kind of disagreement he had with Nick. That's clearly not based on his statement. In fact, if that was the reason, probably Jackson should not have given any press conference outside the courthouse at that time. So I've ruled that possibility out here.
Okay, so now let me lay into my thought. This is my thought. My first thought was, you're right, could be a conflict of interest, but my first thought was there's an issue of payment. Maybe can't pay Alan Jackson's fees, but maybe it's something more. So, and remember, he allegedly kills his parents, so he's not getting an inheritance. But it always became a question of how can you afford a high-powered attorney like Alan Jackson? But this is the big point. This goes to my other major theory. Maybe he can't afford the experts that he needs to testify in his trial. So this goes to my point. When Alan Jackson says that Nick Reiner is not guilty, right? Not that he didn't do it, not that he's innocent, not that somebody else
Why didn't he do it pro bono like he did the Karen Reed case?
did it, not guilty. My thought is he's
I don't know if that was pro bono. Why didn't he start a GoFundMe?
talking about the insanity defense. And remember what Jackson said initially when he got the case a few weeks ago. Right, he initially gets the case before any investigation, told the media that there were, quote, very complex and serious issues associated with this case that needed some time to be examined. I thought you're talking about mental health issues. Under California law, someone who commits the killing can still be found not guilty by reason of insanity if it can be proven by the defense that it is more likely than not that the defendant was legally insane when they committed the crime. So when they committed the crime, this person had a mental disease or defect, and because of that disease or defect, was incapable of knowing or understanding the nature and quality of the act, or was incapable of knowing or understanding the act was morally or legally wrong. And let me just add one more thing. I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but let me just add one more thing. Just came out from TMZ. They are reporting that their sources tell them Nick Reiner may in fact know that he killed his parents, but that he's delusional, that he believes that this was some sort of conspiracy that has been orchestrated against him to have him arrested. So, a lot of points here, Seth. First, let's start out. Do you think I'm totally off base when Alan Jackson specifically says that Nick Reiner is not guilty, that he's talking about mental health defense insanity?
I think that you are not totally off base. It's actually not the first thing that came to my mind, but I think it's one of the real two possibilities here. And here's what we have, right?
Okay, so what's the first thing that came to your mind? We would love to hear it. Lay me down.
Got this mental health defense or even substance abuse defense, because we know that he struggled with substance abuse issues, where the defense will look into arguing that he had the diminished capacity and couldn't form the intent necessary for murder charges. So that's the first possibility, and that's what you have discussed. But what actually came to my mind when Alan Jackson said that Nick is not guilty of murder, and he was very specific of murder, is that there's a possible heat of passion defense, which would lead to a manslaughter charge and not a murder charge. What a heat of passion.
Yeah, well, but who cares what he said? Who cares? Just because he said he's not guilty doesn't mean he's not guilty. He's just saying that because that's what defense lawyers do. He doesn't know. I mean, he may say, well, yeah, he's not guilty technically, but you know.
Defense is that Nick experienced an uncontrollable rage as a result of some type of argument he had with his parents. He didn't have time to cool off. This wasn't a premeditated murder in which he went over to his parents' house with the intent of killing them, and thus arguing that he should only be charged with manslaughter, which carries a much less severe sentence in California than a murder charge. So when I heard what Alan Jackson say he's not guilty of murder, I actually thought of the heat of passion defense and thought he's saying that this should be a manslaughter case and not a first-degree murder case.
That is something that we've talked about in a previous episode, too, about, like, we don't know the circumstances of what allegedly happened in that house, what happened in that bedroom, whether there was a fight of some kind or whether there was defensive injuries or whether or not, you're right, maybe the heat of passion. If you're talking about downgrading the case from first-degree murder to, let's say, second-degree murder or, let's say, manslaughter, what potentially could he?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Gray. From what I understand, that they were asleep when he did it. So what kind of heat of passion is that?
He be looking at then? If we're talking about now life in prison on the table or the death penalty, which seems unlikely, but what would you be looking at potentially for, like, let's say manslaughter?
I mean, a manslaughter charge doesn't carry life. It doesn't include the death penalty. It would involve a sentence, depending on the circumstances, of somewhere in the 10 to 15 year range, potentially, which is much less than what he's facing on the murder charges. So, which is why any experienced criminal defense attorney would look, this isn't a case of whodunit, right? As you discussed earlier, we know that there was something that happened in his home and that he specifically said he's not guilty of murder, not someone else did this. He didn't kill his parents. He's completely innocent, but that there's some circumstances here which shows that he's not guilty of murder. And it's really those two options, right? There's either the insanity defense that he couldn't form the intent based on his mental health and or substance abuse history, or this was a heat of passion case and it should be a manslaughter case.
And I'll explore that a little bit more, but whether it's some sort of heat of passion or whether it is a mental health defense, the defense would need experts to testify to this. And right, if this is an issue of funds and Alan Jackson saying, listen, he just can't pay, maybe with a public defender, the state can help share the burden of some of the costs of these experts. Am I off on that?
I think a little bit, because Alan Jackson fees would be 10 times the amount that an expert would cost, right? Experts are costly, but it's very unlikely an experienced criminal defense attorney like Alan Jackson, who's got a great client list, would withdraw from this case just because of an expert issue. So I highly doubt that. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I think if there was a fee issue, it's all of the fees together, the legal fees and the expert fees that would have led to him to withdraw if it's a fee issue.
And by the way, real quick, such a high profile case, a lot at stake. A high powered attorney wouldn't just take the case pro bono?
Probably not. He'd probably take it, as we call low bono. Is basically a reduced fee. It's good for publicity. It's good to be on a case like this. There's also the reporting that I read yesterday in the New York Post that says Alan Jackson may have wanted out of the case because he would have been a pariah in the Hollywood community, because he would have had to defend Nick Reiner, whereas his parents were beloved in the Hollywood community. As we believe, there's going to be a bunch of people in the Hollywood community who are witnesses in the trial, and then he may have wanted off.
Most of the time, it comes down to money and, I don't know.
The case just because he didn't want to become a pariah and affect past and future clients. I'm not saying that that's the case. I have no knowledge of that, but there was reporting in the New York Post about that last night.
Then again, he just said publicly, Nick Reiner, who's accused of murdering his beloved.
I don't think that's the case. Again, I'm not saying that's the case.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense either. You say, well, you become a pariah. Well, he just stood up there and said he's not guilty of murder.
I don't think someone who believes in the Constitution as much as Alan Jackson does would get off of the case because it's an unpopular cause, but that's what the reporting is out there.
So I want to just go back to whether or not there is something to the insanity defense, right? He couldn't even perceive what he was doing. He couldn't even perceive that what he did was legally or morally wrong or right. There's some complicating aspects to that because you would question.
I don't even know, what makes him such a great attorney. I know I know that he has done some high-profile cases, but I don't know.
Question, why did he check into a hotel room early that night when apparently he had been living with his parents? What was he doing?
I watched the second Karen retrial, and I didn't think he was that great.
Surveillance cameras. Did he understand what had happened? But on top of what the TMZ had reported about this idea of he may be thinking there was a conspiracy against him, the Los Angeles Times and KNBC said Nick Reiner was receiving medical treatment for schizophrenia at the time of the deaths of his parents. And let me also add this. Harvey Levin from TMZ said, quote, sources with direct
But I think a public defender probably would have got her off, too.
knowledge tell us a month before the murders, doctors changed the meds Nick was taking for schizoaffective disorder. Adding, when Alan Jackson was talking about why a jury would find him not guilty, what we're told is it has to do with changing those meds, which literally put him out of his head. Rob and Michelle were alarmed. They saw the change in his behavior. They knew what was going on, but they're not doctors. They don't know how to solve this problem. So Rob and Michelle were watching their son spiral, and there was nothing they knew to do that would abate it. Now, talk to me about that, Seth.
Yeah, that's certainly a viable defense and certainly possible. And based
he looks just like Garfunkel.
on the reporting, obviously there's been a lot of reporting about what happened at the party at Conan O'Brien's house the night before and how Nick was acting. There's been reporting of how he was acting in the weeks leading up to his parents' death. That is certainly a viable defense. If he's been diagnosed with schizophrenia and a month before their killings, he had his medication changed, right? If he's delusional or not.
Yeah, but Yeah, I understand that, but I mean, if he's gonna stand up there and scream, still, he's not guilty. I mean, jeez.
Out of a sane mind, that is obviously a valid defense that he couldn't form the intent to necessary for the murder charges. And that may be why Alan Jackson was so specific that he's not guilty of murder. What I've been looking for is, what do the text messages show, right? Because if he's got insane and delusional text messages in the weeks leading up to his parents' death, including to his parents, that would give me a big tell. What does the video surveillance show both before? I'm assuming there's video surveillance at the house. What is video surveillance at the hotel he's staying at?
Well, look, people aren't hiring him for nothing, you know. Obviously, he's.
There's a lot of pieces of evidence that we don't know about that would give us clues as to his mental health at the time of the killing or even before that. Because that's what I would want to know as a defense attorney is, how was he doing in the months and weeks leading up to his parents' death if I'm going to use this as a defense? Obviously, if he's been treating with a psychiatrist and he's on medication, that's obviously great evidence for the defense to show that he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. This isn't something new that they're making up post his parents' killings, and that is more of a viable defense at that point. But I would like to see what evidence there are, what do the medical records show, and that's going to take a long time. The other thing I'll point out is the fact that he's been in a mental health hospital since the date of his first scheduled arraignment is very telling to me. They are probably conducting a competency examination to check whether or not he's even competent to move forward. Obviously, they looked like they were ready to have the arraignment this past week before Alan Jackson withdrew, but I'd be curious as to what's happening at that mental health hospital, because if he's not fit to proceed, he would stay in that mental health hospital until and if he's ever found fit to proceed, because this case could be delayed if he's not competent to understand the charges against him.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's been staying at the Twin Towers Correctional Facility out in L.A., and People magazine says that the Los Angeles County Sheriff, a source says the inmates where he's located have significant mental health illnesses and need to be kept alone and away from any other people or inmates. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, I want to ask about him now being represented by a public defender. So Kimberly Green actually told reporters outside of court this.
I spoke to Mr. Reiner briefly this morning. He was understanding that there was going to be a change in counsel. We haven't had any in-depth conversations.
Now, Lori Levinson, who's a professor at Loyola Law School, a former federal prosecutor, told the New York Times that Miss Green had actually been one of her students, called her, quote, one of the best, smart, ethical, added she knows the Los Angeles justice system. What do you make of the fact, because I think sometimes people have misperceptions about what the public defender's office is and the quality of their representation. What do you think about the fact that now he's going to be, at least right now, if he's not, doesn't retain private counsel in the future, what should we be thinking about that now he's represented by the Los Angeles County Public Defender's Office?
I mean, public defenders, some of them are some of the best lawyers that I've ever seen. Some of the most high-profile criminal defense attorneys started out as public defenders. Sure. So it's a very noble job. They truly care about their clients, truly care about the Constitution and the justice system, and they fight hard. From what I've heard, Ms. Green has a great reputation. She's handled some very high-profile and complicated cases before, and I would look for her to treat this no different. There may be different from a PR standpoint. She'll probably have less press conferences outside the courthouse and handle it slightly different as a public defender. But I would expect him to still get a vigorous defense, explore all of the options here that we've discussed, including the insanity defense, the heat of passion defense, and investigate and find out, what really is going on here.
Los Angeles County Public Defender Ricardo Garcia also spoke outside of the courthouse this week. Take a listen.
I want to say that on behalf of the entire Public Defender's Office, we are incredibly sorry and understand the pain and suffering that the Reiner family is going through at this time, as well as the entire Los Angeles community. The Public Defender's Office and the entire staff, our hearts at this time go out to the entire family. We hope that the community will also understand that this is a challenging time for the entire legal process. We ask for your patience, your understanding as we navigate this process through the legal system, and that we will be available as we can be to address your questions when appropriate. Thank you.
Now, in a statement to the New York Times, I'll also mention that a spokesman for the Reiner family said, quote, they have the utmost trust in the legal process and will not comment further on matters related to the legal proceedings. There is something else that I have to address. We mentioned it before. I think it's really important for this case. Something else that came up in court. I want to play you Alan Jackson speaking with the judge the other day.
Your Honor, we have a matter of housekeeping that I'd like to address in chambers in dealing with the 10 subpoenas that are outstanding. There are 10 current subpoenas that are outstanding. We would ask that body attachments be issued and held for each of the 10.
So, Seth, what is this about, this body attachment for multiple potential witnesses? I mean, I thought if you ask for a body attachment, you're asking authorities to bring that witness to court because maybe they feel that they don't want to appear. There's been a thought about
I did see that. I mean, I remember the Weinstein trial that he lost.
People be from Conan O'Brien's party, right? Are you talking?
But, you know, that was, how are you going to win that one?
About celebrities. It was reported Nick had attended this party at Conan O'Brien's house the night before the killings, in which he allegedly went around asking strange questions to guests, got into an apparent weird interaction with actor Bill Hader, then had some sort of loud argument, potentially with his father. There was a source, by the way, that told people that Nick was freaking everyone out, acting crazy, kept asking people if they were famous. Family friends have reportedly said the fight was overblown. But you wonder if these are the potential witnesses. You wonder if they don't want to appear for whatever reason. Apparently, the legal representatives for 2 of the 10 subpoenaed parties, they were in court that day. There was an objection. A lawyer for one of the parties said, I don't see the necessity of having a court order against an individual in this circumstance. You had Judge Teresa McGonigal say, fair enough. She apparently issued a body attachment for those who do not have legal representation in court, hold it there for the next hearing on February 23rd. But she also indicated that the list of these subpoenaed people is going to remain sealed. So you do wonder.
Rob Reiner and his wife.
Are we on the right track? Are we talking about people at Conan O'Brien's party?
Yeah, we're probably talking about people that the defense or prosecutors think are important witnesses and need to be subpoenaed because they're not willing to come in voluntarily to give their version of the events. You know, these body attachment warrants are, you know, when they're seeking a witness to come in.
So Jackson was also a prosecutor, but I know that he ran for, I believe it was the district attorney of Los Angeles, and he lost that. But that was like some time ago. 2012, 13, 14, something like that.
And the witness is not being compliant, right? And sometimes that happens just as not even because the witness is not being compliant, but in a high profile case, they want to dot their I's and cross their T's and make sure that everything is ordered by the court. But that's to bring a person before the court who has information. It's similar to a subpoena.
Yeah. By the way, Us Weekly did a breakdown of who may be called as witnesses.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, he gets hired by like the biggest names. So obviously he's good. I'm just, you know, I remember, wasn't he was the prosecutor in the was it the Phil Spector trial? He was prosecutor. He didn't defend him, right?
You know, just speculation. So
I didn't really pay attention to that one. Spector freaks me out.
Aside from other people at the party, maybe actor Bill Hader, who apparently had this encounter that night with Nick, where he allegedly told Nick that he was having a private conversation with somebody when Nick allegedly tried to butt in, to which Nick reportedly stared at him, walked off. Us Weekly also mentions Billy Crystal, Larry David. They reportedly visited the Reiner home after the killings. They also list comedian Eric Idle, who took to X that he said he spoke to Rob Reiner for over an hour the night of the killings. You have Romy Reiner, so Nick's sister, the daughter here. She was the one who reportedly found her father's body. There's Jake Reiner, Nick's brother. Do you think that Us Weekly could be on the right track about potential witnesses, potential players in this case?
I do. I think that those are probably some of the prime witnesses. Certainly Nick's siblings, his sister Romy, who found their parents, their brother, you know, all of the talk about what was happening in the lead up to the events, you know, they may be beneficial witnesses to the defense as well, right? Because if they're able to talk about the delusional portion of how Nick was acting in the lead up to killing his parents, they may be beneficial to the defense. So I think that those witnesses could go either way. And I think the same thing for some of Rob Reiner's closest friends. You mentioned Billy Crystal and Larry David. You know, those are people who were not only at the home when the body was found. That's really not what their testimony would be relevant to. It's about what was Rob telling them in the weeks and months leading up to his death about their interactions with their son, and what were they observing? If they're good friends, what were they observing when?
Well, it sounds like she was handpicked by Alan Jackson himself. So I'm sure she's There's some great public defenders out there. I mean, some great ones.
They saw Nick come over anytime they went to Rob Reiner's house. So it's not just about what happened post-death, but what happened pre-death that they observed. And they may be witnesses that the prosecution may not want to call, because these people may say, well, you know what? They substantiate the mental health defense and the insanity defense or the heat of passion defense. So there's a lot that needs to be evaluated. He hasn't even been arraigned yet, but I think that they're on the right path as to some of the important witnesses.
And do you think it's the potential celebrity aspect why the list is being sealed?
Yes, for sure. I think it's the celebrity aspect of the case, right? That it's such a high profile case and they don't want these names to go out there because,
I mean, is this thing really going to go to trial, or is there going to be some sort of deal? It's going to go to trial, isn't it?
TMZ,
God, that's going to be messy.
the other outlets will then go and stake out outside these people's homes. So even if they are not celebrities that are on the list, they're trying to protect everybody because this has become such a high profile case.
What can we expect from maybe his actual arraignment on February 23rd? I mean, he remains locked up right now.
I couldn't imagine that she's ever worked on a case this high profile
with no bail. If this actually happens, if there's not another curveball of some kind, what can we expect from his arraignment on February 23rd?
I mean, I would expect his arraignment to be pretty straight.
I mean, of course he's insane. Anybody if he stabbed his parents to death, you have to be insane. No normal person does that.
Forward, right? He'll plead not guilty to the charges, and then they'll set a date and discovery will start. There may be some pretrial hearings that need to occur, but I think that it would be a pretty standard plea of not guilty, and then the case will move forward. The only other thing that could happen is if there is more mental competency examinations that need to occur, that would lead to another further delay if his public defender seeks to have him further evaluated as whether he's fit to proceed with the case.
Would he have to at that point say, hey, not guilty by reason of insanity, or can he reserve that for later?
Yeah, you just say not guilty, and then the defense will eventually serve their insanity defense on the prosecutors in the court once they've had him evaluated and decided that that's the defense that they're going to go with. But at the arraignment, he just pleads not guilty, gotcha. And the defense that you intend to present.
This is going to be like, they're going to end up blaming physicians and psychiatrists and all kinds of shit.
Doesn't need to be discussed to the court at that point.
Seth Zuckerman, thank you so much for taking the time, going back and forth.
Thanks, Garfunkel. It's good. It's awesome. Good job, Garfunkel. You did good. Thank you, Garfunks. I think it's not, or knowing the difference between right and wrong, like knowing what you did was wrong, if you know the difference between right and wrong, really. But the thing is, it's going to be tough because it kind of seems like he was trying to cover up what happened. So good luck with that. I mean, that's going to be tough. I'm not saying that his meds weren't screwed up or that he wasn't, in some sort of psychosis but I mean, that's going to be a tough sell. Anyway. All right, guys, I'm out of here. It's good to be here with you guys, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you. There's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lab After Dark.
Yeah, I think he's guilty too.
Is starting shortly.
Deanna, if you can you email me that and I'll show it next time. All right, I'll put it on the queue for tomorrow or something. Later, skaters.
Lab After Dark.